guys, so what are the prerequisites for your course?
So for our medical course, it is a postgrad degree. So one of the prerequisites is having had an undergraduate degree beforehand. In terms of specific subjects that you need to do, there aren't actually any subjects that you have to have had beforehand, and as a result of that, we have people from all different courses come to Deakin medicine. So there's people with Bachelor of Commerce, people have done Bachelor of Music, so really you can choose whatever pathway that you want and then apply for medicine, and you can probably get in at Deakin.
Yeah, and then I guess once you're chosen, that you want to go down the medicine route, there's the exam that you have to sit and pass, and then depending on your score, you'll be offered an interview. And at Deakin, you can actually interview them, like it's a 6 MMI 10 stages of an interview, and then you get your place after that.
Yeah. And one of the stations, I believe, is a rest station, so it's actually more like 9. But that interview happens in Geelong at the Warners campus if you want to interview with Deakin.
Alrighty guys, so given that your degree is a postgraduate degree, is there an undergraduate course that gives you an advantage in terms of getting into your med course?
Not at Deakin. There's no prerequisite degree that you need beforehand. You can come from, we've got people around either do music or accounting or even environmental sciences. There's no real advantage of doing anything. I guess everyone comes with lots of life experience, and Deakin prides themselves on having lots of different people from all different walks of life to bring whatever skills they've learned previously. All right, come on in. So welcome to our clinical school. This is one of our teaching spaces where we get lots of tutorials from the doctors during the week. It's really fun, inclusive environment, lots of learning. So yeah, lots of fun.
Alrighty guys, so where are you based geographically?
So for Deakin, for your first 2 years, you'd be based down in Geelong. That's where our main campus is, in War Ponds. So for the first 2 years, it's pre-clinical, so you're doing all the theory, you go on a few placements. And then for the second 2 years?
Yeah, so for the last 2 years of your degree, that's mainly hospital-based or clinical-based. So from there, you'll be kind of sent or split up as a group into little clinical schools. So one option is here at Ballarat, which is the Ballarat-based hospital / Grampians Health. But then you can also go to other hospitals such as Geelong, Warrnambool, and also Eastern Health, which is in Box Hill. There's also another stream that you can choose, which is the Rural Clinical School program, and that entails going to smaller towns such as Portland, Horsham and Ararat, as well as Colac, and working closely with the GPs there in the town there and at that local hospital. For the Rural Clinical School, you'll be doing 1 year at one of those rural towns, and then for the last year of your degree, you'll come back to one of the main hospitals. So that is Warrnambool, Geelong, Ballarat or Eastern.
Alrighty guys, so can you tell us a bit about your course structure?
Yeah, so for the first 2 years of our course, it's largely preclinical, so that means we're learning about the theory before we actually go on placement in the hospital. So in your first year, the first 2 topics that you'll have is one called human biology, which essentially gives you a very basic rundown of biology, similar to what you've done in year 12. And that topic really helps people who haven't done a science-based undergraduate before. And then we have a topic that is centered around the immune system. So it kind of covers that aspect of science. And then in the second half of your first year, you go into some more of the systems-based biology. So more in depth into cardiorespiratory systems and also gastrorenal systems as well. From there, in second year, you'll kind of be continuing along that systems-based approach of learning. So the first topic that you'll have will be around the musculoskeletal system as well as metabolism, and then learning about the endocrine system and the life cycle, and then finally you'll be going a little bit more into the brain and behaviour aspects of medicine. So that includes the neurology department, as well as stuff more like psych and psychology kind of topics.
And then also scattered throughout first and second year as some more broader topics that we learn. So ethics, law and professionalism, where you get to learn a little bit about the ethical principles that we all should abide by as future doctors, and just being a professional in the work environment as well. And then we also learn about public health, so taking that really broader look at the healthcare system and how we can improve, and some more of the epidemiology of disease. And then lastly, we also importantly learn about Indigenous health and learn ways to be culturally safe when we're practicing in the future. So that's first and second year, and then in third and fourth year, that's when you're in the hospital on placement. So in third year, it's a really fun introduction into being in the hospital, being around patients and doctors. So you'll do 14 weeks of medicine, you'll do 14 weeks of surgery, and yes, you get to go into the theatre, which is lots of fun. You also get to do women's health, so you're with the obstetricians and gynecologists, lots of babies and fun things. And then you also do 7 weeks of paediatrics. So that's with the young kids all the way up to 18-year-olds. So that's third year. And then in fourth year, it gets a bit more in depth. So we do a rotation of psychiatry for 5 weeks. And then we do an ED rotation where you really get to get hands-on, really learning how to manage patients in more of an acute setting. And then we go on to aged care and palliative care, which again can give you more of the understanding of the whole life and how that culminates in aged care towards the end of life. And then we also do anaesthetics and ICU, so a little bit more critical care, which is also lots of fun. And then we have a few rotations where we learn about how to be a doctor once we're graduated, so learning more about how to do the intern jobs in fourth year.
Alrighty guys, so then what would you say is unique about Deakin Medicine compared to all the other Victorian medical schools?
Well, I guess with Deakin, you're quite lucky in the fact that you have 2 years pre-clinical, so that means you get quite a strong foundation of theoretical knowledge before you jump into the hospital, which is quite a big jump. So having that little bit of extra time to digest the content I thought was quite helpful.
Yeah, and I guess another thing that might be unique about Deakin is that we do tend to have a rural and regional focus. So a lot of our clinical schools, once you get into your clinical years, will be based regionally in places like Warrnambool, Geelong, Ballarat. We do have one more metropolitan clinical school, which is Eastern, but the focus a lot of the time is on more rural and regional health and helping people who perhaps have less access to healthcare get the help that they need, and encouraging them to engage with healthcare services as well.
Alrighty guys, so can you tell us a bit about the course structure of your course? Alrighty guys, so can you tell us a bit about your course structure?
And then the second topic that we have is called was it immune?